We are honored to be joined for the first time by Professor Moya Bansile, who's co-chair of the Berkeley College Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Advisory Committee. Professor, good to see you.
Good morning, Steve. Thank you. Very happy to be here.
Describe diversity, equity, inclusion. A lot of people talk about it, but understanding what it really is and why it matters is a different story. Talk about it.
Absolutely, you're so correct. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, they are not just buzzwords or words that roll off the tongue so people can feel good about themselves. They're actually a set of practices, procedures, and precepts and principles that enable not just companies, but individuals to include all peoples to the tables, to their teams, to their events, activities, where people feel included, whether it's based on their race, their gender, their sexual orientation, national origin, a disability, military status. I mean, there's so many aspects to diversity. And I think, sometimes people tend to box it into a couple of little things, but it's so much broader than that. And I believe that every individual has a responsibility and a duty to promote it.
Well, let's push this a little further. And Berkeley College is one of our higher ed partners, and I'm curious about this. Do you think it's, I don't want to say easier, but that in the higher education community, it seems like there's more receptivity to being engaged in real efforts of diversity, equity, and inclusion than it may be for other kinds of organizations outside of higher ed? Is that just my impression?
No, you're probably correct. And that's because obviously institutions of higher education, our goal is to teach and to help students to learn and to enter the workforce and in their careers. And we understand that these are the future. This is the future of our country, the future generations. I mean, eventually people will retire and move on. And we understand that we're raising up a whole new generation of people. And this is why higher education tends to be more sensitive and welcoming and engaging in this DEI space, I believe.
All right, I'm sorry for interrupting, Professor. Devil's advocate. If someone says, listen, I like my organization the way it is. I've got people that I've known for a long time. Yeah, we sort of come from a similar background, and that's why our chemistry is so great. We're similar, we know each other, we look very much alike, skin color, a whole range of issues, gender, sexual orientation, all of it. What's the problem with that?
Well, the problem with that is the fact that if you stay within a homogeneous society, team, or group, you are really doing yourself a great disservice, because people from a wide race, a wide variety of scopes of races and genders and everything, they bring so much to the table. Studies have shown that the more diverse and the more inclusive and the more equitable your company is, the more productive you will be. So companies really owe it to themselves and to their employees and to their stockholders and stakeholders to really embrace these concepts, because as we grow and evolve as a society, it's something that we have to do. It's bursting at the seams, and it must be done.
And I'm curious about this. Issues of social justice have been a big theme in our society, but also particularly in higher ed, and at your college, it is as well. My understanding, and I know Berkeley really well, I've done some guest lecturing there over the years, that a significant number of students who've studied in the area of social justice have gone to law school after that. Talk about that.
Absolutely. Well, one of the things that we have initiated over the years is we have a pre-law advisory center where, we provide advice, coaching, and strategies to our students that show an interest in law school. And we understand that our student population is very diverse. We have lots of BIPOC students, we have first-generation Americans, we have immigrants, we have first-generation college students, and a lot of these students do not have anyone that look like them, that has gone to law school or are practicing law. And so we understand that, and we're trying to help our students to have measurable outcomes in becoming attorneys and legal practitioners, and also to diversify the bar, do our little part in diversifying the bar and the bench.
I talk about diversity. Our producer, Abby, who was doing a pre-interview with you, shared this with us, and it really got my attention. Age diversity. Mm-hmm. There's real age diversity, is there not, within not just the college, but also those who are pursuing law school after? Talk about that. Age doesn't get included in diversity very often.
Thank you. Yeah, age diversity is equally important because we have many generations of students that are in colleges, not just our college, but many other colleges. We have students as young as 19, all the way up to 63. And I've actually worked with students as the pre-law advisor. I've worked with students in those age categories from 19 all the way to 63 that have expressed an interest in law school. And a part of it, I think, Steve, has to do with people are very, very concerned about civil liberties and of justice. And I think, in the modern era, in the last couple of years, it has really been a watershed moment to bring lots of voices to this table. And I believe the country is in a renaissance of this particular initiative, DEI initiatives, and having all generations involved is very, very important and critical to society.
If anything, Professor Bansile, anything positive that has come out of the horrific, very public, they're not incidents, they're murders on camera, like George Floyd murder on camera. If anything positive come out of that situation and others, is that there's more of an interest on the part of more people, not everyone and not enough people, but to care deeply about civil rights, social justice, and equity. And so Professor Moya Bansile, co-chair of the Berkeley College Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Advisory Committee, I want to thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Steve. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
You too as well. We'll be right back after this.
Think Tank with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by the Northward Center, the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, TD Bank, New Jersey Sharing Network, NJM Insurance Group, Summit Health, Delta Dental of New Jersey, the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey, and by Johnson & Johnson. Promotional support provided by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association and by Jaffe Communications.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sharif Elnahal. Did you know that there are nearly 4,000 New Jerseyans waiting for a life-saving transplant? And 67% of those people are people of color. Just one organ and tissue donor can save 8 lives and enhance the lives of over 75 people. Let's come together to raise awareness in our diverse communities. Donation needs diversity. You have the power to make a difference. For more information or to become an organ and tissue donor, visit www.njsharingnetwork.org.